What's up, YouTube? We back again with another episode of Sit Down Sundays, and today, of course, is Sunday. And today I have some new guests with me. I'm gonna let everyone introduce themselves.
Hey, hi, I'm Amber Hart. You can follow me at Facebook, Dr. Amber M. Hart, and you can also follow me as well on Instagram, Amber the Hair Maven Hart, also at Great Beauty World.
Hey, I'm Levante, and you can follow me at Vonnie_Boo on Instagram and on Facebook.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, I'm Eric Polk, a.k.a. Sire Sound. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, under Sire Sound. Got some good stuff coming out, artistry, all that wonderful stuff. So looking forward to you checking out my content.
All right, there you got it. That is the guest for today. So we actually had a real good conversation.
Yes.
What was it, about a week ago? It was a real good conversation, y'all, and we didn't get it on camera, which it was just one of those moments where you just like find yourself around new people and the conversation get to flowing. It's like, well, darn, I've never thought of things what they're thinking about. It was just one of them moments. So I was like, man, we got to get these people right back here and get them sit down on the couch and have another conversation. So, but before we had started recording, they were talking about zodiac signs. Now, me personally, I've never been a big fan of zodiac signs. I just felt it was forceful, like it just ran people's lives. I feel like people use that as a scapegoat until I recently like looked up mine and I was seeing something. I was like, okay, well, darn, this is kind of making sense. But I do understand that you have to kind of cipher out some of the stuff that really is maybe true and some of it that maybe not, because it can be like, all my Virgos today, you gonna see $1,000. Like, that's not true. I was like, ain't no way. So I want to be a Virgo for today. But I did realize that. But I'm gonna let y'all know something. So I was hearing the conversation I was having, and from me looking it up, it's only been like 2 weeks maybe since I've been looking it up and just reading up on science. I think that they are spot on with some of the things they're saying about people, but I do feel like some of those characteristics about those signs have to be brought out as well. Because people will say, Aquarius is they're energetic. And I'm like, I've never been energetic. It could be true, but maybe it just hasn't been brought out of me. So that's just how I look at it now, because I'm like, ain't no way this person is what they're saying they are, because I've been around this person damn near their whole life and I still haven't seen it. So I'm like, well, maybe it has to be something that has to be brought out. I mean, I don't know, y'all give me y'all opinion, but that's just how I look at it.
Well, it's like this. You're an Aquarius, but your moon sign might be Sagittarius.
See, y'all get
Which-
I didn't
bring the intellectual side, but automatically, because you're an Aquarius, you're a humanitarian. You like to create ideas, and you're a prompt person, early person actually. And also, it's like your rising sign. Your rising sign could be a fire sign, Aries. Fire signs are very energetic people. Automatically, it's just like they're go-getters. They go, 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 go. So it depends on what your chart is, and it can get real deep. So.
What? I don't understand. How did y'all get into knowing all this? Because I don't. Wow. She said a moon sign. I didn't know it got that deep.
I started reading a book called Black Love Signs in high school, and it told me about all the signs. It told me signs to look for if I'm trying to be compatible in a relationship. And I'm Aries, so it always told me Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, or Gemini. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's who I need to be looking for when I'm trying to date. And then if I didn't date one of those and it was like a Capricorn or something, we did not get along, but I got along with the people that the book actually said I would get along with. So I just really started believing it.
But do you think it's like forceful? I mean, because I'm like, if you put this in your brain, you're going to start to believe it. So that's just how I look at it. Like,
I would say it like this. I'm a Libra, okay? And very much like you, I started to as I've been kind of looking, I've been into science for a long, long time. I never got really deep off into it because just like you, I felt like, that's some bullshit. Like, you ain't going to tell me about me. And it's true.
Yeah.
Because like depending on where you grew up, who your parents are, your circumstances, but very much true, your moon's gonna be different, your sun's gonna be rising different. Like how you handle money is controlled. Well, I won't say controlled by it's influenced by a certain sign. But for me, like I'm about to go real deep with y'all, real quick. Just forewarning. For me, like just growing up in the church and being religious, like, oh, that's witchcraft. You can't do this, that, and the other. Like, oh, witchcraft is not real, but the Bible tells us about the witchcraft and all that. But it always hit me. It's like, oh, we're part of the universe. We're part of the earth, right? And so the universe in my mind, as I was reading, what caught me was like, man, the universe was aligned in a certain way in order for this energy to be brought into the earth, right? Likewise, with the story of Christ, with the birth of Christ, the universe had to be prepared and was centered around like they were in a certain type of alignment when Christ came into the earth. Everybody that's ever been born, the stars, the planets, all those things were aligned in a specific order in order for you to come into the earth at a certain time, at a certain moment, right? That is an influence. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't by happenstance. It was a purpose behind all of that. And so with me believing that everything has purpose, life has purpose, you know, it makes sense that these signs like are here to help guide us and understand not only things about ourselves, but like as you said, about other people. If she's been looking at, watch this, I'm about to spill a little bit of tea, y'all. If she's been dealing with the signs for a while and she's been kind of being aware of that, I guarantee you she looked up your chart and knows everything about your sign more than you
Yeah,
do.
she do most definitely know way more
Right,
about
and
it.
so like sometimes like if you ever wonder why, because I for y'all who don't know, I just met this wonderful melanated couple right here, but I guarantee you just sensing Aquarius and Aries, I can sense it. There's times where you probably be doing something and she just fall back and let you have it because you're looking like, yeah, he's moving in the signs right now. I'm not gonna say nothing. And then there are other times where you think it's all good and she just nope, because we're gonna do da 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 da. That's because she realized like no, because this is where he's not the strongest at right here. So as a spouse, as a partner, looking at that compatibility is to help make the relationship better. As a Libra myself, we are the scales. We're the only machine, the immovable, non-living object that represents the signs. And it's like, for us, like those scales, like when I say I balance out bullshit, I balance out bullshit. Like, how you remaining so calm? Because I'm not giving energy to that. If you go all the way to the left, I got to go all the way to the right to balance it out. You go all the way to the right, I got to go all the way to the left to balance it out because I want to see people be the best version of themselves. Right. And understand that about myself. Like, most people like, oh, Libras are fickle. They don't like confrontation. They won't speak up. Like, no, a Libra will mess up your whole world on purpose. Because we know how petty we can really be.
They can be dramatic too.
Very dramatic when we want to be. You better ask somebody. Libras will be very dramatic. Libras. Shout out to all the Libras out there. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. We'll get very dramatic on some stuff because if a Libra gets to the point where they have to go and be confrontational, I guarantee they've given you many chances to get it right. So by the time they switch, when they get to the point where now I have to balance it out, there's no coming back from it because, like, I've made my choice. I'm not being fickle. I'm only fickle because I've looked at the scenario at all points, all perspectives. It's like, why are you responding this way? And then once we balance, like, wait a minute. No. Nope, 2 + 2 = 4 every day. You wrong, and here now I got to fix it. And whatever happens after that is cool, but I'm not giving you that energy anymore.
Well, see, I wondered. So I don't know how to deal with our kids because I got all Aries. So I'm like,
oh, you got all Aries in
all
there?
Aries.
Fire, boy, you're a water bear.
I don't
No,
know.
He's air.
He's air.
He's air, Aquarius, air.
So watch this. Every time there's a conflict, because that fire's already brewing, when you
It's
blow on
already-
it,
man,
it's just gonna. It's
I don't
gonna
know
make
how
it bigger
to-
than what it is.
it's gonna blow up. Only the strong survive. So obviously
Yeah.
he's strong. God knows what he's doing. He
Yeah.
put you in a house full of fire.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, since we on the topic of kids, let's talk about just the difference in. I want to speak on raising kids now and how it's been beforehand because now just raising kids, it's.
He did a big
I
sigh.
know because it's just like I know there's not a book, and there probably is plenty of books on how to raise kids, but there's no right book about how to raise kids. But it's like when things change so quickly and so fast, and we were speaking about that about, and I was saying like the higher ups. I think that's the way to keep more black people beneath, from climbing up that ladder because if they keep switching it, we got to figure it out again. But we got so many young people coming up that's smart, figuring shit out
Yes.
like real quick. So you got to think, if I'm the higher ups, I'm saying I can't let these black people get up, because they get up here, they're gonna take over. Okay, so what I was saying was, I feel like because it's like, I don't know if it's like Chutes and Ladders, I guess. I don't know. Like, if you're at the top and you know that, I don't know, a better way of living is up there where you're at and you have control over it. So you have to keep switching, and people's trying to climb up. You have to keep switching things up in order for them to be able to not reach the top. So as far as what I mean by that, I mean television, music, food, activities, just a lot of things, school, teaching. I feel like they have to keep switching stuff up in order, because now we don't know how to help our kids with schoolwork because it's different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's purposely. I think we have spoke about that. I feel like that's purposely, because why keep it the same? Because if it was the same and I had a real smart wife, I'm sorry, not smart, I'm sorry, but I had like a real genius for a wife, like just was smart, all A's plus A's, and they never switched anything up. I'm like, my kids, they straight. They gonna teach the same thing. My wife had this down packed 10 years ago, like, cool, like, but now she gotta relearn all this
Right.
stuff. Like, hold on,
Yeah.
this ain't, I was an A++ student in school, and I can't figure this out for the death of me. So, because if so, like, I was like, you have one genes in your house, of course you're gonna raise two more, because you
Exactly.
just following the pattern. But they make it so, I think that's the reasoning for switching stuff up so frequently and so quick right in front of our eyes, because if we ever catch on to anything, like we ever catch on to anything, it's like, man, if I figure this banking shit out, it's over. And do you know how some people figure the banking out or stock, and they just go straight up there.
Right.
We like, damn.
How did they do that? How
did
did
they
they
do
figure
that?
that out?
But yeah, raising kids, the difference
It's
between.
really hard now, and it's really hard to keep up with our kids now, because the way the economy is set up, we have to work. We have to work a lot. And guess what? We don't have villages anymore. We don't have grandmas anymore. We have a small percentage of grandmothers that understand what it is to be a grandmother and step in and teach these kids different things and teach them their lineage, their heredity. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. These kids don't play outside anymore like that. The only time they play is when they're in school. When they have to do sports, when they have to do gym. But otherwise, they sit at home and play video games all day and do this.
Or they're on their phone.
They thumb got muscles in them.
And that's where I was about to go with, because like right now,
Yes.
still in today's society, like the cell phone is the co-parents.
Pretty much the babysitter.
And the babysitter, like, and so like I was born in '84, so I'll be 40 in 3 weeks, y'all.
Hey.
3 weeks is coming. But I can remember, like when I was little, like the Elephant Show used to come on. Remember Skidamarinky Dinky Dink, Skidamarinky Doo? Yeah, that was. My mom was like, it would amaze her that she can cut that on and I would not move for hours. She's like, I can clean the house, cook meal, change it,
But it was fundamental.
But it was fundamental. Like now, the attention span, especially with children that are dealing with ADHD, because I have one that's dealing with ADHD, that phone, they have access to everything in the world at their fingertips. And so, like, part of being a parent now is having to not only learn how to teach, but you have to learn how to keep up in what's going on in the world. Like, I can remember when I was, like, my oldest daughter, my daughter is 13 years old. My son is 11 years old. Shout out to Ari and Oh, Daddy loves you. But like monitoring what they're watching on their phones, they have access to everything, like
no
literally
problem.
everything with
And
no
they know how to
problem.
get it.
They know how to get
They
into
know
it.
how to get it.
And block it so that you can't see exactly what they.
I'm telling
I'm
you.
switching Wi-Fi passwords.
Right.
Just
My
like
phone ain't
the,
working. Oh, it's working. It just ain't working for you right now, boo. Because like Daddy don't want you on there right now.
Right.
Like having to limit screen time, and then like I was literally watching a TikTok last night before I was going to sleep. That's my guilty pleasure before I fall asleep.
I know a
but
lot
there
of
was-
people do that.
Yeah.
They watch TikTok.
But it's like
real.
dropping the phone on my
Get
face,
you.
like, go to sleep, boy, you're sleepy. But like I was the one thing, like, and it kind of freaked me out and pissed me off at the same time. There's like this 8-year-old kid, he's outside jumping up and down on a trampoline. The Ring camera's watching the kid, right? and a truck pulls up with a grown man that pulls up. He's like, yeah, I'm the guy that you've been talking to on Roblox. Wait a minute.
Roblox.
Whoa.
What is that?
It's a game. It's a virtual
Kids
reality
game.
game that you can, like, you're playing with other people from all over the world in real time, but in a virtual reality system on Roblox. They create worlds. You play. You can, they're shooting people. It's a game.
It's a way to lure kids
Lord
into.
kids, but for those
For the
perverted
mole-
minds,
yeah.
right? And so this man pulled up, like, the kid unknowingly done sent pictures of his mom, done sent pictures, sent the man his address, all this
See.
stuff. And so, like, he's out literally outside jumping up and down on the trampoline. He's like, well, you sent me pictures of your mom. She's hot, da 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 da. Like, he's like, hang on, let me go get her. So he jumps off the trampoline, runs to the door. Hey, mom, this man wants to talk to you. What man? She comes out like, sir, like, who are you? He's like, yeah. She's like, he says you're pretty. He wants to know if he can get your phone number. Wait a minute. She's like, you were weird. How did you
That
show up
is
to my
weird.
house? How did you know where I get in the house? Like, she's like, no more. I'm deleting Roblox off the phone. She's like, I'm posting this video up on social media so parents will know this is what we're dealing with. Not my child. You better not roll up to my house, baby. You might not roll back. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to know now, we have to be vigilant on
Well,
who
it's
you
just
playing.
people have
Yeah.
access to each other that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no adult should have access
To 5 and
to
6,
my
7
child's
-year-old.
information,
Yeah.
my child's game, my child's page. None of that. That shouldn't even be
Why did your child
going
have a
on.
profile at 7 about
Yeah.
their whole life? I'm
Period.
dark eyes. I'm 6'2". I'm like,
Yeah.
Why does your child have a profile about themselves? Usually that's something that's like in the doctor's office, like in some files, but
Private
it's a-
files. That's what they're
Yeah.
called. Private files.
Yeah,
You
and I
have
don't
to
know-
have certain access to those type of things. But when we're allowing our kids to get on social media and different things, we're opening up that port of entry. We're allowing these people to come in and infiltrate or kidnap or do whatever, with our children or ourselves sometimes, but the children most so. So we have to really, I don't know.
I think it's-
Technology,
yeah.
we shouldn't.
It's a blessing
How
and a
do
curse.
you?
Yeah,
It is
it
a
is.
blessing.
How do
It
you?
is a
but-
curse.
It is
So,
a
like,
blessing.
part of our responsibility as adults, in this vibe, because my mama's not messing with no phone. She it's supposed to call you and hang up, and that's,
And that's
it.
it.
But like now, like, we have to be educated on how to navigate social media, how to navigate like a PS4, PS5. Like, and get on there like as a grown person. Like, I've played Fortnite, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I had no idea. I got into it because the kids were doing it, right? Wait till y'all get there. Whoa.
I don't
Wait
want
till
to
y'all get
because
the girl.
oh Lord.
Like, I'm playing Fortnite. It's like, well, because at the time I was living in Kentucky, my kids were here in Tennessee, and I was like, well, I wanted to spend more time with them, but like I worked on the day. It's like, well, we could just play online. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. It's like, oh, this is cool. Da 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 da. So I'm playing the game, and I'm sucking at you. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, when I first started, I'm running in circles. I don't know how to shoot one. And then I realized, like, wait a minute. So I clicked the button and didn't know, again, not knowing what I'm doing. Now I'm hearing all these voices coming through the TV. It's like, oh, these are kids. And they're talking to each other. Wait a minute. They're on teams and they're flanking me. They're like, wait a minute. So I can hear, it's like, oh, he's got to be an old person. They don't know what they're doing. He's easy to kill. Flank him on the left. Flank one. Like, now they're using strategies on me. So I had to stop the game, call my son. I'm like, hey, like, how do I talk on this game? He's like, oh, Dad, just put the headphones. I said, Dad, y'all listen to me, you little. As soon as I learned how to run, shoot, and aim at the same time, I'm killing all y'all. Now they laughing at me like, he's funny. I was like, but then I was like, well, where are y'all's parents? Do they know y'all on the game playing with a whole grown man? It's like, no, they're watching this here, watching their
This is universal.
Yeah.
They play with people from in different
all
countries all over the place.
all the time. I have friends now through the video games and social media who are following my pages, playing with me because I have my profile set up as Sire Sound, Lyrical Libra. That's that guy. That's like, and so like they wait till I get on there. Like now, I find it's a stress reliever for me now. But like I can sit and like know like with my nephews, my nieces and nephews, like we do Minecraft because I find it being able to. It's a teachable moment for me.
And it's
But, like,
really for
Fortnite,
smart people too.
it
Minecraft
is.
is for people that use
Yeah.
both sides of their brain.
Have to and
For
like.
real. That's a
But I remember being young. I was scared to even just talk to my parents' friends, for that alone, a stranger. Like
Well,
I
we
was
taught not to. You
yeah,
know,
we was
stay
told
in
not to.
Stay in the kids' place.
Yeah, so it's like for them
Don't
to even
talk to
just
strangers.
be
Yeah,
that
stranger
comfortable.
danger.
That ain't your uncle.
Now it's
Keep on,
easy.
know.
Now it's easy. You can just DM them and message them. You don't have
Yeah.
to
Or you can just make a profile.
call
I'm
or
a kid
anything.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a kid too. Or how about, do you like to play games? Or What's your cash app? I'll send you $5 or whatever. You know, they
Because
know
they
how
probably
to lure
on there like,
kids.
my
You
mom
gotta
won't
buy
give me any
games.
more, whatever,
know,
points
they-
or something.
Yeah.
So,
They
it's okay.
troll these kids' pages to find out what's the port of entry, the
Yeah.
weakness. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Are they in a broken home? They must be at home by themselves most of the time because they're always on the video game. So they know how to.
So nobody's monitoring what's going on.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They know.
But I mean, because this how deeper I think of it. I feel like that was these platforms like that was purposely put out there by
Absolutely.
higher up people who know.
government.
Yeah, it's easier. I
Let's
wouldn't even
talk
say the
about it.
government,
Let's
but
talk
well,
about
shit,
it.
it could be the government. But I'm
I'ma talk
saying,
about it.
We're going to go
Well,
there.
what about
Come on.
what about not the games for the teenagers? What about all the shows for the toddlers? Like when the pandemic,
yeah,
it
It's-
caused speech delays. It caused the kids to be behind because they sitting watching TV all day versus
Yeah, because it's
now, Fred, we
called
gotta go
mind
deeper than that.
manipulation. They know how to program
Yeah,
certain things, flash certain words, flash certain colors. Say, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it kind of hypnotizes these kids.
It does something.
It puts them in a
It
trance.
does something for sure.
And it makes them. And if you notice, some of them kids, if you turn them stations off, they go crazy.
ballistic.
Like it's a
Yeah.
drug.
Have you ever tried to take a phone from a kid these days? Have you seen the TikTok
my
videos?
God.
Yeah.
So you see your face? Like, I saw this kid, like, he destroyed his mom's house because she took his phone
How
from
about
him.
people are getting killed? The
Oh,
kids,
yeah,
the
I
kids
seen
are
that.
killing. We
Yeah,
were
I seen
talking
that.
about
Yeah.
that. These kids
Yeah.
are killing their parents because
That-
they're getting games taken away from them or phones.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy. I was scared of my mom and my dad and my
Let
grandmother,
alone to do
especially my
anything
grandma.
like that.
You know, these kids have so much boldness and gall. You know, like
Because you got people online, they're seeing people with bold, like they're
you
seeing
ain't
it.
lying.
And
You're-
people's probably
that's the
telling
truth.
them as well, like they're seeing it. Because y'all know, this might sound crazy, y'all, but y'all just be seeing pages online, like, who's behind this page? Just be like, no picture.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3 friends. But they done wrote a full paragraph, like, this got to be a real person, not a robot.
Right.
Somebody told me that be kids.
Yeah.
Somebody said those kids do it.
Underage.
Yeah, they said kids do it so they can really like say what they want to say to grown folks. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's what also makes them feel grown, because if you think about it, we never ever had a chance to talk crazy to anybody as a child.
no,
Like not like if you did, it was like one of them rare things. Like, ooh, like his parents don't give a fuck. He just talk crazy to him. He felt caught up a bitch.
Like,
But it kind of give you some balls, like, cause if you can do it and get away with it, like, man, I talk
I'm
crazy
going
to an
in.
adult. I talk cash shit to an adult, and nothing happened to me. So it kind of give you like some balls. You walking in school like, damn, we thought you would have came with your ass sore. Like, nope, ain't nothing happened to me. So it kind of like, oh yeah, he's tough. So
He's the
now
one, yeah.
I feel like with them able to do it online, it's like you're building up confidence for yourself to feel like you're able to chin check these grown folks out here, because I did it online. I got on there and said, F you, you motherfucker, I hate you, your skin is pale. Like,
Cyberbullying.
and it's like,
Oh, that's
we're about-
terrible.
we're about to get
And we're
into that.
in suicidal month too. What is it? Suicide
Suicide
month.
awareness.
Suicide
Suicide.
month. And see, like, just kind of couple, like, and I feel like it's all really tied into each other. Like, I'm a big advocate for education, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big deal. But, like, you got to go back 20 some odd years now. No Child Left Behind. That was on purpose.
Yeah, that was purposely.
We've known for decades now that they've been taking the test scores of fifth graders, of fifth grade boys, black fifth grade boys, 11-year-old boys, and from based on their test scores, they know they're projecting how many jails they have to create by the time that group of kids is old enough to go to jail and be tried as an adult. That's been going on for decades. So now when you couple that, the No Child Left Behind, they changed how we learn, how the kids are learning these different
And it
things.
took religion out
And
of
taking
the schools.
you've taken arts out of school.
They don't even sign their
self-expressions,
signatures anymore.
Don't write in cursive. They're not
No
even teaching
cursive.
cursive. And then you were saying something. Oh man, what did you just say?
cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying.
Yes.
So all that's coming together, but like the pandemic being quarantined. So yeah, if they were already not being challenged, they're already being socially promoted. You're not really learning. How is it that you're a whole sophomore in high school at 16 years old, but you're reading at a 6th grade level, if that? But then you have access to all this social media, all this stuff that's online, all these flashing things that keeps your mind going and going and going and going and going. Just like a phrase. Now, I'm at school right now studying audio engineering at SAE Institute, and one of the things we're listening to and one of the things I'm learning is frequencies. Like I've always known that certain frequencies will damage your nervous system, your eardrums, all that stuff. But in music, and I love you, Beyonce, so if you listen to this, baby, it's nothing against you, but boo. Even at her concert, the Renaissance concert, the flashing lights and the high-pitched frequencies out there, that was done on purpose because it sends you into a trance. It sends you into where your senses are numb, and now who is ever controlling that frequency, then they can now download and input whatever they want to put it to you, because with the lights going off and the flashing lights and the frequencies going, your subconscious is taking in all of that. And while it's moving so fast, while you may not consciously be aware of it, your subconscious is picking up on everything.
Yeah, picking up on it.
And like, some people get seizures.
Like,
going through that. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, on some of these games, like it'll flash on the screen, like they say, like, hey, these are going to be high, fast moving, flashing lights, and will cause seizures for those. Why we put and our kids are being exposed
psychology. They test people with these same frequencies in psychology classes and things like that. And so, what's the difference? They know what they're doing.
Absolutely,
they know what they're doing.
But I'm gonna see how all this just sounds crazy. It sounds like a bunch of huckabuck. It sounds like we in the basement looking up documentaries and all they crazy. But you just have to really think deeper into it, and you just have to think. It's common sense. A lot of it really is, but it's also, it does take some things. You have to wake up, and it sounds so cliche, like wake up, woke, but you really do have to wake up to actually see these things for what they really are, because if you just see the patterns in things, and like you said, like all that is for something. If you put everything, and that's what a lot of people do, they take the stuff from the Bible. Now, the devil was in control of the music or some Lucifer, you know. So
yes, he walked and made music.
So if that is true, if it's true, music is the main thing that drives people to do a lot of things that they do. Honestly,
it's so powerful.
And now you're in my
The
lane.
most powerful.
Now you're in my lane.
I mean, but you're using it in the right way. You're not using it in the wrong way. But still. It's a fine line when it comes to that music now.
It is.
It's a real fine line.
And so
they
for
done
me,
locked my boy R. Kelly up.
Didn't they? Have you seen any of the videos online? He's singing like, and they're still making hits. The guys in their level.
His voice is flawless.
The guys in their level. This man's been singing for 40 years.
I was at his house and he made a song about a spoon. We were getting ready to eat, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that is a platinum song right there." And it's all about a spoon. About a spoon. But it's the creativity. And like, first of all, like I'm one of those people, like you can't tell me something, I'm just gonna take it at full facts, because my mind is gonna be like, wait a minute. The reason I've had to ask the question why I have to it has to make sense to you.
And if it don't make sense, I'm gonna sit there until it does make sense. Like and I look at I was saying to you earlier, like as Black people, we have a past and a history of trauma that's never really been addressed. And they can say, oh, race is not an issue all they want to. It is a fucking issue, and it's going to be an issue. Why? Because you want to sweep it on the rug, and no one's really want to deal with it on a major scale. No one's really want to deal with it on a major scale, but like you have to look at what have we done, what has been done to Black people on a psychological basis for hundreds of years. What has been going on? And like now that we have access to all this, is like even just with social media in itself, like I love music, I love dealing with people, I love dealing with all that, but I don't want to know celebrities' personal business. Who you dealing with, who you fucking licking on, that ain't none of my business. Are you making good music? Are you saying something that's going to speak to my soul? Are you saying something that's going to uplift me? And that's what the difference is. So to go back to your point about Satan, Satan was the chief angel. That's what the Bible says. He was a chief angel. He was in charge of praise and worship. So he knows what music and praise and worship does on that level, and what it does, how it activates in that realm. He knows what it looks like. So if he can get you not to be in that realm, then you already cut off from the source. No, you can't do that with me, because I'm very sensitive to stuff like that. So when I'm making music, I'm conscientious. The first thing I ask, is this something I'm be willing to let my child hear? One. Two, is this something that I'm willing to allow into my subconscious, so when I'm not thinking about it and it comes on? Because like right now, music sets the atmosphere. Like my new tattoo, I'm getting it. I'm turning 40 in 3 weeks. But it's a sleeve. It's going to be with the keys on. It's going to say above it, where words fail, music speaks. And like I say that because regardless of what the message is, if you put music behind it, it's gonna give it a whole different,
yeah.
vibe. It's gonna give it a whole different frequency. It's gonna give it a whole different meaning because you put music to it. And so the lights, the flashing images, all these different things that our kids like, the music even on the game itself, like you're in a trance. They can put whatever song they want on, like specifically with Fortnite, you can change what it looks like on the screen. You can change the theme songs that you listen to. All this stuff is on there. They just put sound stages on there, like you can go up there and play in a rock band, and it's like Guitar Hero is kind of like that on Fortnite now. It's like they have all these things going up. But again, it's distracting. Like, how is it that you? I love y'all children.
And what's
really
crazy is kids creating these games.
is kids create them.
These are genius kids.
Minds.
Making millions.
With their
Making
ideas, and
millions
people are
with the
taking
ideas.
advantage of
That part.
And that's what
That's
it is.
the part.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage. Their parents are monetizing off of their children with this, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, let me ask y'all this. So if you was I don't know, just executive, big producer, I don't know, somebody with some power to put people's voice out there, and you came across somebody like art. Now you're thinking business, man. You don't care how fucking good their voice is. You don't care what they rap, But you come across somebody like Michael Jackson's voice or like Michael Jackson's voice or R. Kelly's voice. Now they have a flawless voice. Like whatever they sing, they're gonna put people in a trance. Because there's no reason. Like one man is responsible for a whole decade of kids. Everybody will tell you, I'm only here because of R. Kelly.
Michael
I'm only here
Jackson.
because of him.
I say that all the time.
So that says a lot. That's if you think deep into it. Me as one person, I'm not even knowledgeable that I know that it's going on, but I'm not smart enough or aware enough to know that I have this much control over. I have control over a whole. If I can tell a lot of people to have sex and make babies. I just produce single-handedly just me.
Got me.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Just
Sweat
me.
got me.
Right.
You may be young, but you ready. I wasn't ready.
So if you
ready.
I thought I was.
I wasn't ready.
I mean, but if you think about it, I mean, of course, nobody wants to hear somebody sing about something positive, like I mean, but just to know if I knew that I had that type of influence on people at a mass scale because of my voice, it don't matter what I say out of it. Y'all just like to hear my voice.
The voice, the tone.
You just said he made a song about a spoon and it was bomb.
It was platinum. Like he could have released
So that's
that.
you get it. It's not even the word.
Yeah.
It's the voice.
It's the voice, the
got you.
control, and he hypnotized me
Before
with
you
that
know
voice.
it, you'll be out. Girl, I need the spoon. R. Kelly was rapping about that damn. He was
spoon.
singing about that spoon, and I gotta have 4 of them in my drawer. I got it. I'm gonna get you a spoon for Christmas, girl.
So are you trying to get to what would you do with that type of power? If
Yeah,
you knew
because
you
I-
had that much influence over mass amount of people like that?
Masses.
Yeah, because that just to get.
And they don't even know you. That's the crazy part.
don't.
They don't even
And that's
know
it. We didn't
you.
know R. Kelly, and it's a lot of other
Didn't
people
even know
we did.
Michael Jackson. All these different.
We didn't know. We still don't know to this day. But
still
that
don't know.
that
You know
just.
I don't mean to cut you off, but like there's only been one person that I can remember in history like that sticks out in my mind that talked about that accountability and understanding like I'm reaching the masses. There was an interview done with Will Smith back in the early '90s when he was doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they were talking about the controversy content that he was putting out. Even then, he was like, "Well, why would you be doing?" He's like, "I'm very, very conscientious about what is being done." He's like, I understand the kids that are watching this today, because of what they're seeing me do on screen, when they encounter something like that, because of what they've seen, they're going to probably react in the same way. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm curving things a certain way, but I'm still wanting to be entertaining. Well, how's it entertaining? Well, because people like drama. We are a society that thrives off of
That's
drama.
what I wanted to say when you were talking about. I don't want to know about the celebrity, who they screwing and all this stuff. People thrive off of drama because people are locked in a dark place in their own lives and they don't know how to get out of it. So they feel a lot better looking at somebody else's fucked up life. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but that's just how it is. So you're right. Drama is kind of like the number one thing right now that's
With
thriving.
Yeah,
You
drama.
see it on TV
Reality TV.
all the time. I watch it sometimes.
All
though.
reality TV, if you think about it,
you know-
all reality TV is
Say it.
like let's say Rashida and
Oh
Kurt.
my gosh.
Rashida, you
Bless her
know,
heart. Bless her heart.
affairs,
Yeah,
you know,
and it's
women
kind of encouraging. It's kind of encouraging
arguing.
that. It's like it's showing that black families can't stick together
Literally.
unless they cheating or unless they doing
Yeah.
something wrong or
No positive couple.
No
There's no
positive.
positive. And if it is a
On there.
positive, it's funny in it. They put the, it's
put
not
comical.
serious. It's
Right.
not serious positive couples. There's always some jokes here and jokes there.
like
Whatever.
Blackish.
Yeah.
Blackish.
Yeah.
It's hard to take
The
it
Miss Which is
serious.
not really
I love
Blackish
Miss
to
Pat
me.
show.
I just
It's-
got into Miss Pat show. Shout out to Miss
but
Pat.
it still shows
No,
a little
Miss Pat
bit
is
of.
real.
She's so
it's
real. She's
real.
keeping it real.
It's real. It's hardcore. It's the ugly truth.
It's the
Yeah.
in your
The
face,
ugly.
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
be able to laugh about it because, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with humor, and I think the reason I love stand-up comedies and comedians like Cat Williams is one of my favorite comedians. Some more, love me some more because they keep it 100% real. But I think even with that platform, I think they understand as artists, even in that industry, that they have a responsibility to people. Yeah, I can take my platform and I'm making jokes about it, but I'm really talking about some real live,
Real
serious
Cat
stuff.
Williams is
and
good
even
at
though we
that.
laugh about it, it makes you sit back and think like, man, dude, that motherfucker was absolutely right. I am not in tune with my star player. I need to be in tune with my star player. Chandelier Status, one of my favorites from some more. So she's talking about like, man, we're living in an age right now where there are no rules and regulations to this shit no more. You can do and say whatever you want to. We're living in that time. So personally, we have a personal responsibility to be responsible and accountable for what it is that we're taking in, what we're putting out. And if we have kids, because that's the subject we're talking about, like being responsible, like what am I exposing my child to? I said it the last time, what the issue is and what we have, not even just as black people, but as people, period. We keep putting these kids in very grown-up adult situations, and they lack the maturity to
Yeah.
compensate what they've been exposed to. And that is social media in a nutshell. You giving them access to all this stuff. What are you being exposed to?
Right.
Your little
They
mind is not
can't
ready to
even-
deal with that.
They
But I
can't
think-
even digest half of the stuff that
Yeah.
they absorb. They're like sponges.
Yeah, but and then subconsciously it comes out in other ways. Like, oh, why is she out here? Like, and the little, I think the one that gets under my skin, and I laughed at it, but it's like I cried at the same time. The little girl with the microphone with the little birthday party, like Sexy Red's hands on your knees.
Oh, the look when the
think I've
when the
seen
parent comes in with the baby and he looks around.
Yeah,
He's like,
the
"There's a
little
kid
girl with
over
the microphone is like, first of all, she's a whole host up there, and she's done this before. Cause she's like, you better get. I was like, this little girl is killing it, but like, this is so wrong.
It's wrong.
It is, but
wrong.
it's reality
But it's
though.
the
This
reality.
is what's going on right now, and then you're raising your kids. Think about it. You two are raising your kids a certain way, but when they get out there in that world,
Challenge.
woo,
Because a lot of other kids are more experienced.
they're
in a lot
more
of things.
experienced. Half of these kids is honking. We call it.
Talk about that all the time. You know, having like kids around certain kids because certain other
Spending
kids
the
I've
night.
been.
You
Yeah.
can't spend the night. Where you spending the
Definitely.
night?
Yeah,
Who?
they can come over here so I
They-
can watch everything.
But you can't spend the night.
Nah.
You know, you got to be careful. I mean, because it's even family members that you got to watch out for too. You know, so it's like,
it's
they don't
especially
raise their-
family members.
If
Yeah,
they don't raise if your cousins and them, they did not raise, especially if you don't know how they're being brought up in the house. So you don't just like, we ain't seen each other. I ain't seen this cousin or auntie or sister in months, but just out the blue, yeah, you bring all the kids over. Everybody can have spending night, and then you come to find out, why the hell is y'all in here watching porn? Who idea was this?
Yeah.
who had
It
the
was-
nasty books or whatever? Yeah,
Oh, it was, and you would know, like, cause I used to have cousins used to bring the DVD with them. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that, but if we would have got caught, they'd be like, I know who done it, because
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck what you do at home.
Yeah.
But over here, I care. So
Yeah.
it's just
Messed
like,
up.
it's
It's
damn if
scary.
you do, cause I'm so curious to see how fast a kid is going to get raised nowadays to become grown, because I think I seen like a young kid he was like 11 and they always talking about drafting him in the NFL. And I'm like, he's 11.
putting pressure on that
He's
child
11.
already.
Yeah.
Every kid, it's like they're moving so fast, and I get it. I understand it, because it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because am I going to expose my child to this so nobody else can do it first? Or do I let it happen out there first, and then they get here and I correct them? Because what if that person that exposed them to something has more influence than you?
Yeah.
If they have
That's the
more
problem.
influence than you, it's gonna be hard to reverse that and get that up out of your child's mind, because they're gonna look at you like, well, he's a lot cooler than you,
right?
and
Right.
you're not that cool. But you
right.
telling me this is not cool to do. I think I'm gonna just go with the cool person.
You know what, Jadelle? In that very instance, that's my whole point right there. Like, and I said this the last time I was here. Love my children. Do it, die for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but
Every
there's a
parent,
line.
every parent.
Right.
But the moment that I saw them birth out, I accepted, especially with my first one, with my daughter. She changed it. She changed the game for me. When I saw her face come out, I was like, Lord, look what I've done. It's like watching myself being born all over again, right? But I in that moment, I was like, man, as great as I want to protect this child and keep him from everything, I understand, like, while you've given me this child, I understand that I'm not the only influence. They don't belong to me. They belong to you. So regardless of how I feel, I'm not omnipresent. I can't be everywhere at the same time all the time. So for me to kind of battle that, because I feel like if we, like, even just sitting here and talking about and putting it out on the table, like, I think for me as a parent, what I've had to, one of the things I've had to relinquish control over is the fact that I have to have a strong faith in God, period. I have to understand, like, even on my best day, I could never be him. I don't want to do his job. But my prayer, my sincere hope, and my sincere prayer is that they'll just be better than what I was. They go further than what I was. That I'm doing the best that I can to shield them from all the things that I possibly can. And then everything beyond my human capability, you got it. You got it. That's the only way I can sleep at night. You got it. Like, you know, I'm in a divorce situation. Me and my ex-wife are co-parenting. We're doing really well right now, but that just adds on another level of influence, because I understand that I'm not my child's only influence. I'm not their strongest influence. They'll listen to me like, oh, Dad. Oh, like, I think the part that hit me the most, and she said it to me again just like a month or so ago. She's like, oh, Dad, you're born in the late 1900s. I was like,
That is funny.
1900s though.
I was born in the late 90s. Don't say it like that no more. You know what I'm saying? No, it's true, but, like, you make me sound ancient, because it really is 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm dealing with. So, like, I want to keep it real. Like we were talking about with Pat. Like, I'm very open and honest with my kids, but, like, because I want them to know that, hey, there's nothing too taboo. There's nothing off limits that you can bring to this guy right here, because I've seen it done a lot. But even in my great wisdom and all the things that I know, like, I know that these kids they're experiencing things that I could possibly never dream of, never thought I'd be going through, never thought they'd be going through. So how do I shield beyond that? It's like, I get to this point, like, you know what, Lord, I'm just gonna fast and pray about it, because I can't be there all the time. I can't shield them from everything, because, in all honesty, nobody shielded me from everything. You understand what I'm saying? We do the best with what we have, but, like, I feel like if we are intentionally and consistently being conscientious of what we are exposing our kids to, like, that is the first and biggest step in parenting. You do the best that you can with what you have, because we can't control what the world is doing. I can barely control what's going on in my own household.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I seen a video, and this is kind of crazy, because I seen a video when we was riding back. It was a white lady. She was on the news. A car had pulled up in front of her house, and it was a couple. They just decided to get out and have sex outside her house.
In front of the ring.
In front of the ring camera. So that, you know, now I'm gonna be honest. It sounds like what you just, but hold on.
Yeah.
Think about when you were young, or you just was with that fling or whatever. Like, yeah, girl, let's pull over. Fuck it, let's pull over. Let's do it right now. Like, it didn't sound so. And think about it.
And
now
then-
the house that you being the house owner or whomever, the person at that house, you like, well, who the hell would just pull over and fuck in front of somebody's house? You like that shit just. But you being the person in the car about to pull over and get some dick or some
What time
head.
of day was this?
See, it was during the day.
It was not
They was
nighttime.
doing too much.
Yeah.
Now, I
But-
can see if it was nighttime.
Because they literally got out the car
Yeah, they got out
in
the
front of the
car,
ring
in front of the
camera,
ring camera.
and literally, and her son
Her
seen
son
it on the
seen
ring
it on the
camera.
ring. But then now, hold on,
Is
because
there
I
a
was.
connection?
It's not a connection. It's not a connection. But this is my thing. At first, I'm looking at it like,
Made the news.
I'm like, you doing too damn much. They just had sex. Hell, if you acting like you ain't had sex somewhere, she probably, I don't know.
She ain't having none. That's
Like,
why
that's
she
what-
told
that's
me.
what she's
That's
upset
what I'm
about.
saying.
She had-
Because I think I would have been like, damn, they out there getting on. I bet not catch their ass again.
That's
but
it.
I just,
That's what I
would've
would've said. They better not bring their butt over here no
as I
more.
thought about it, as we was talking, I'm like, well, darn, they did put her in a rough spot, because she said, they put me in a position where I was not prepared to have a conversation with my child that I
Oh,
didn't
that's
want to have.
different. Yes.
But why in the hell does your son have access to the Ring camera anyways? If he has access to the Ring camera, he should be more than enough to understand what he saw.
But people also don't know with the Ring cameras. Sometimes at some people's houses, they'll have it like right there.
Yeah,
on
well,
the
yeah.
thing,
If that was the case, so I don't know the whole story. But if that was the case, then okay. But if he still got access to it just on his phone, then because that's what I'm thinking. So it could have been that way. You could have just seen it on the little box inside the house and was like, oh wow, but.
That's bold.
It's
they was
forceful.
they was some horny toes.
You know
for real,
what?
like for real, like
that's
bold.
I wish I had my cup of tea.
To get out of the car. So were they in a gated community? Like I need to know some things. Like
it was on the news too. They was literally just pulled to the side and got out the car.
And what
the Ring
color were
camera.
these people?
They was black.
Oh yeah, it might be like
Yeah,
They was Yeah.
What? Okay, they probably pop some Molly or something like that. That was something else other than that.
That's some ninjas right there.
Yeah,
that's
some stuff. That was something else.
But see, yeah, as the person who home it is, it sounds so bad. And it's just like, but as the person, because everybody's probably done been a person in the car or with their significant other, like, shit, ain't nobody right there. It's 3 in the afternoon, 2 or 12. Everybody at work. Just pull right
not
there.
in
Fuck
broad
it.
daylight.
Like they in the woods, in a park,
I mean,
somewhere behind a tree.
They might have been on something.
I'm sitting here trying to be cautious because I'm been out there. I'm pushing 40.
Not getting out the car. Maybe in the car, in the back seat.
If I'm getting out, it's going to be a secluded area.
Yes, everybody's probably had experiences, but now any experience now it's so many cameras.
Yeah.
So y'all experiences probably would have got caught on camera 20 years ago because if them cameras is where they would see
tell you things.
out in front of the house.
I'd be in jail, all types of stuff right
if
now.
cameras was where they at now, 20 or 25 years ago, a lot of people would have got caught doing some of the same acts that they see are being done right now on camera. Like that, a lot of people would have been caught.
The interesting thing about it, like, because Amber and I just had a conversation about something very similar to that happening recently at my job.
Man, but where was the cameras at then?
Where was the cameras at then? I was like, and I had to ask her, like, so if they rerun these cameras back, are they going to see something that they shouldn't see because it came to me that you was doing something that you probably need to be doing? So like, and so I'm looking like, I know there's cameras there, like, but it makes me feel like it's a blessing and a curse all over again. Because on the one hand, I want the cameras there for safety purposes, but now when you violate my privacy, that's something totally different. But then when you out there acting all ninja-like, then hey, then the consequences.
With these cameras, these Ring cameras, they always get shit that you don't want them to see. Like it's like the stuff that you need them to record, they don't get it. But of course, it's going to record 2 people having sex, but it's not going to record a robber or somebody getting killed or something like that.
I'm just saying, if they were doing it for the OnlyPage fans, I need to have a property tax fee for being on my property. Cut me a check if you're going to be out here like that.
But at least we weren't doing anything bad, like robbing nobody or killing anybody. I mean, actually, that's not too bad.
But
in comparison to what's going on in the news, for real.
But even if you, and this is how crazy things are now from how I look at it, even things as simple as OnlyFans, to the newer generations and younger people, they honestly look at that as a real job.
It is.
Like you can't, and it is a real job, but I'm saying that, like, but to us, we look at it as like, that ain't no job. That is not a job.
Like, and see, you laughing, but like, I literally just had a conversation with a couple of 16-year-olds that are already doing it. I was like, their parents support it.
Why not? I mean, but
parents are supporting. And I was like, why would you like that? Like, no, they bringing in a whole check. Like, they get and so when I, on the flip side, I was like, on the outside looking at it, like, that's wrong. That's bad parenting. I'm calling police. And you be like, all this stuff is going on. But at the same time, when she broke it down, she's like, look, this is not even my real mama, right? This is my friend's mom who's adopted me because I don't know where my mama is. I've never known my father, and like we got bills in here, and like this is how we eat. This is how we pay for the cell phone bill. We do this, that, and the other. So on a whole nother level, it's just like y'all out here because you're just simply trying to survive in society. Like I can't fault that. Yeah. I have my opinions about it, but I can't fault it. And I can't judge it because like. We is out here. There are no more rules and regulations to this. Right. So how do you govern that? How do you know what I'm saying? Like, Like
You
literally
don't.
dealing with a client, like we're trying to figure out, is this man like selling himself because like you got all this stuff going on and you're asking for this level of help, but you make this kind of, how to make it make sense? Make it
Hold
make
on. Let me
sense.
stop you. It's actually a channel out there that it's crazy, man. You can make so much money off of people's pain, off of their
People
it's a
capitalize on it.
and that's the thing. That's almost like cracking the code. It's like, damn, if you tell your child don't do this, but damn, damn if you tell them don't do it, but it's like, damn, if I do let them do it, the possibilities can be, oh my gosh, they can be the biggest OnlyFans couple out there. Cause it was an article just came out. One woman made over $1 billion more than all the NBA players from doing OnlyFans. So they just turned the light on a lot of people like, I'm finna start one. Today's the
gonna
day.
want more money.
I'm finna do it.
That's
You
like
got
a
a parent.
remnant
but
of
how-
you. Like that stays forever. Years.
I was gonna say, how will it affect
does.
them when they get
older,
older?
Well,
you know,
like,
you
they're
gotta
not-
think
they're
about
not
that.
They're not
Like
thinking
how
about that.
let's say
Yeah.
how the Nickelodeon and
Yeah.
and all the
Yeah,
actors and
right.
stuff when they was a kid, how they are now. They
I
are
mean,
literally traumatized.
Very
They're
traumatized.
not living a real life anymore. They're hiding.
And that stuff doesn't go away. It's
No.
still there.
But
Like,
again,
Yeah.
like to just even speaking to that point, that was our generation growing up. Because I was Nickelodeon head, Cartoon
Man.
head, Cartoon Network
I
head.
wouldn't
But like
expect none of that.
growing up now, like looking like, well, I was really exposed to some stuff. Like I ain't gonna lie
Yeah,
to
so
you.
they had been trying to,
Yeah.
When my mama
They've
found
been
my
doing
porn
it.
stash, she was like, "Wait a minute, son, what is this?" I see. I'm in here thinking you in here, you know, being creative. You're being creative in a whole nother way. It's like, oh Lord. She said, but she's like, I'm not even mad about that fact because you're a boy and I get it. She's like, I'm mad that your stuff is better than mine. Like, where did you get this from?
Man.
Like, who is your dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? My mama, she kept
Say
it
who's
too
your
real
dude.
because like. How do we again at that point? How do we navigate that stuff? How do you have that real conversation with your kids? It's like, man, especially if you're growing up in a single parent home and just it's a mom and a son situation. Like my mama just like, I gotta keep it real with you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna play with it because, and I've adapted that same attitude. Like the world is not gonna care about your feelings. The world's not gonna care that
Absolutely
you,
not.
you know, how sensitive and how sweet and caring and affectionate you are. We're making money off this pain. So like that brings me back to this point. Like that, where did that come from? That is systematically a part of our culture as a society.
Well, they
Because-
planted that into planted it in our heads
In
to
our
make
heads.
us think that that's
Yeah.
a part of our culture.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through that shit.
Everybody,
okay?
everybody.
It's just that we are more vocal and more open about it. We ain't messed up about showing somebody our house when it's messed up,
No, yeah.
and, and talking about our landlord or talking about our family in front of the camera.
Yeah.
White people don't do that.
Nope. But
Mexicans definitely don't do
But
that.
you know, but I'm even to that same point, friend. Even to the same point, the first person that sticks out in my mind, and again, shout out to Zamora because she called it out. The first person that really did it like that was the little girl some years ago when she went and auctioned off her virginity. Y'all remember
yeah,
that?
I remember her. Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh,
Didn't
baby.
she got like $1 million or
She,
something?
didn't she
Yeah.
have over $1 million? Like they was bidding on this
They was
girl's
bidding
virginity.
on her.
She's
Oh
like
my
every
God.
grown man. She auctioned on her
Yeah.
virginity for like over $1 million. They talking
Oh
about
my God.
These
The,
folks is
a guy
hell.
went and pretty much just donated because she was doing it because she was trying to pay for school. She was out here. She was trying to pay for school. She's like, well, if this is a big thing and this is a commodity, like I'd rather sell it off and make
Is
some
she
money
from
off
another
of
country?
it. No, she's
think
right here
she's
from
from
the
here, yeah.
States. And like some more, like I love the way some more put it. She's like, she's like, I don't care how dignified of a woman that you think that you may be. Every person in here feel like I should have thought of that 1st. She said, because like I'm gonna auction it off for $1 million. She's like, because I auctioned it off and he wasn't nowhere near. He was 100 a year. Like he wasn't no millionaire. He was 1,000 a year type of thing. Like, so there's no judgment. Like, so like. If we're living in different times cause different,
yeah.
desperate situations.
You
like,
don't
what
want
would you
your
do?
daughter out there selling her ass.
Definitely don't want her out there selling her.
But
No.
it's hard to me. I just try not to. I can't even no more judge any type of situation or people for anything because you have to you have to tell yourself like things are changing. You can't be like, man, that ain't right. That shouldn't be. It doesn't matter if it's right to us or not. It's right to the people who's doing it. So that's all that matters. If you got kids, it might be right to them too as well. So you have to step into their reality. You have to think almost damn near like they think. But you could go the route. I'm not going to think
We got
like
choices,
them.
right?
Yeah,
That's
because
me.
you said I'm
not
gonna leave it up to
gonna
God.
find
So you're
another
right.
alternative.
And that's fine. You can't just leave it up to God. But for those who still want to be hands-on to kind of navigate their child, you know, in some type of different direction other than what you're seeing or what they're seeing, you gotta kind of think from their perspective and think in their generation and like, okay, so you can't be like, what? Teenagers having a threesome in a dumpster and what in the hell?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it sounds disgusting.
It's
It's
hard.
nasty,
It's
but
hard
it's
to
not-
kind of relate to that in this day and age.
Yeah,
I'm
we
old
gotta-
school.
we gotta,
I'm
I
old
get it.
school as
but
heck.
but I've never heard of threesomes in middle school at all. But they're doing it in
Oh,
middle
they
school.
was doing it when I was in school.
Just like he
I
around
couldn't-
a bunch
I
of
didn't
kids
know. And they used to
now, and they
videotape
talking
it on
about
VHS.
Yeah,
OnlyFans.
I didn't
I
know.
mean, and I was
So I
shocked
would never
too.
known
This,
about that.
this is what before me, because like my my cousin was just here, like we're brother cousins, but he was just telling me, he's like, do you know what Helicopter Man is? I was like, who? What? Drake. He had to pull up. My niece pulled up the video. She's like, here, Uncle E, this is what we're talking about. Because every time we say Helicopter Man, they would just fall out laughing like, what the hell is that?
Helicopter Man.
That's for when you have private time with your significant other. Go look up Helicopter Man and see what they're talking about. There's Drake exposing himself and he just whooped like a helicopter. I was like,
Oh.
and my niece, who's 14, showed me this. I'm restricting everything. How do we compete with that?
Yeah.
How do we compete with that?
You can't. They
That's
gonna get
not right.
access to that
Yeah.
stuff regardless.
And so we was having a conversation. So when my mom found out, she's like, ah. And then when her grandma found out, like my mom's mother's sister, this is my great aunt. She's going because she's very religious and we grew up in the church. She's a preacher, pastor, all that wonderful stuff. Like this and that is of God, and that's not a God. But sweetheart, I said, she's like, how could you just let's write it off? I said, sweetheart, you have to understand, like we are living in a time where old school fundamentals and practices, they don't work anymore because we have babies who have raised babies who have raised babies at this point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if we're talking about, you know, how to raise children to grow up to be adults, you know what I'm saying? I call it the ABCs of adulthood, like what it means to be an adult, and I'm putting it in my curriculum that I'm building on with my therapy sessions. It's the ABCs of adulthood. Being an adult is all about accountability. That is the number one thing. You don't pay your rent, you're on the streets. You don't pay that light, they're cutting it off. You break the law, you go to jail. You see what I'm saying? You have these children, you don't take care of them, they're putting your ass on child support. It's all these things. That's accountability first. To be a responsible adult, accountability. The next thing, boundaries. All we're talking about right now is putting boundaries on what you're being exposed to. If there's no boundaries and no one's outlining the expectation of what the boundaries are, then you're free to do whatever you want. You run around like just vaping, just all willy-nilly doing whatever because you don't have boundaries. And then last, C, consistency. If you're able to be accountable, you have created healthy boundaries and you're consistent in that, you can't do nothing but thrive because you're going to be able to look past all the bullshit like, I'm not getting involved in that. This I'm going to do. That's for the next porn star, baby. You got that. I can't. And for me, that's what it is with growing up with my children and raising my children now. My daughter wants to be on social media. Like, I want a TikTok account. Like, no, girl, you snuck and got a Snapchat account, and we saw your midriff on there, and I didn't see it. Your cousin exposed you because her mom was going through her phone and saw you on there. I'm talking about she called me and my ex said, we both on. I said, Tasha. She's like, what? Give me your phone. I can't believe it. I said, but you gave her the phone when I said you need to put parameters on it. So now it's a big issue. Like when I said it, it's like just went here because I don't know what I'm talking about when I deal with this all day, every day. I'm telling you that's what you need to be doing. So now it's like, nope, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, I feel like the appropriate age for my child is 15. You're in high school, you're a freshman in high school. From here on, you really want to do it, once you start putting your content together, we can start working on it together. I'm going to show you how to do all this, that, and the other. But there's a way that I want you to present yourself because you leave that digital input out there. People can pull that stuff up. It's out there. It's just going to sit there. And, like, I don't know what's going to happen with the apocalypse or what happens with that. But for any Tom, Dick, and Harry that wants to go up and pull up and see you, they can because you put it out there.
So what's the appropriate age do y'all think a child should have a phone that actually can get access to anything, not just games?
I'm still going to say 15, 16 years old. I think it should be like driving, like when you get your driver's license or your permit. Like that's only because...
I say 13, just because you're a teenager.
13 to be able to call and do other stuff, access to certain stuff, you gotta mature with that. Like I only say that because raising a teenager now, God, y'all pray for me.
I ain't ready.
Hold on real quick.
I ain't ready.
I
What
used to
you
give my
doing?
daughter's journals.
Why you in that room that long?
Yeah, I gave my daughters journals. I taught them to write in their journals, and really it was not just for them, but it was for me to be nosy. Because, kids will tell you things, but sometimes they don't tell you everything. And I was a strict parent because I had that stigma. I didn't want my kids to turn out like me. I had my kids at 14, so my first at 14. So it was like there was things that I did not want them to go through that I went through. So I always would go through their journals to find out certain things, and to this day, they're mad at me because I finally confessed. But, it was just for the better good because I was always on top of them, and they became successful. They didn't follow the same footsteps that I followed. I didn't have to go to jail for killing somebody for doing something to my babies. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's harder when they get older, though, because you have more control when they're younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The control is there. You plant those seeds right then and there. You set those boundaries right then and there. You teach them how to be consistent. I never told my kids to look up to Oprah, Michael Jordan, all these different people. Look up to me.
Yeah.
You see me every day getting up as a single mom, working.
Getting it.
Getting it, taking care of y'all, my nieces, and I wasn't bringing men in and out of my home. They didn't see that, so it was like the strength and the tenacity and all these different things, you seen it firsthand from your mother. So, if I can do it, y'all can do it better. Better.
I will say this about kids, because I know we've been giving them a hard time. I'm going to just switch it just a little bit. What I do love about us as black people, and especially with our kids are fucking resilient. We as a people, especially our children, are resilient. And so, like, I grew up in a generation where we look at it like, I love you, Mom, and I see how you're doing it. I don't want to do it that way because I see the hell and headache that you're catching. I don't want to be in that same position. I don't want to be like my dad. Like, my mom used to tell me all the time, and she still tells me, like, I don't want you to grow up be like Mama. I'm not him. And so, like, I look at, like, if you see my mom, like, oh, yeah, that's your mama. But if you see my dad, it's like, he said, and here I was. I look just like I'm just Cameron. He's, a darker melanated skin. But the thing about that is, as much as I have love and respect for my father, I do not want to repeat the same things that he did. You know what I'm saying? Only because I have a strong resilience. Like, I watched the hell that my mom went through because you did not participate in bringing us up. For whatever the reason, I don't give a damn what the reason was at this point. The fact is you were not there. Time, in my humble and not so humble opinion, is the most important thing that you can give to a child because that's the one thing that you can't replace. My kid, them hoverboards we were talking about, them bikes, they ain't gonna remember that shit from a year ago. What they will remember is like dad was on that hoverboard and fell and hurt himself and we laughed about that. They remember that, but they're not gonna remember all the stuff that we did. They're not supposed to. We're like, I don't want my kids to grow up the way that I did. Well, they weren't there, and the times were different, so they're not gonna grow up the way that you did.
Exactly.
You do the best that you can. Like, and just feed into their interests. What are you interested in? What do you like to do? What is it, what is that you want to do? And, like, I've been so fortunate that just on Thursday, I got to spend the whole day with my daughter. She came into the studio with me, was doing her thing. And so watched me do my thing in the studio, watch people come in, watching these different artists, like, kind of in their voice. She's like, this is dope. Like, da, da. So I was like, what are you doing? She's like, Daddy, did you listen to the K-pop songs that I sent to you? And I'm thinking, I mean, I did.
K-pop is good. She listens to
But I did. She listens to all of them. My baby she's taking Korean right now because she wants to go to Korea next year. She draws. She's into anime and she can dance. And for a 13-year-old, when she dresses up, she looks like she's 25. And I'm always just like, oh God, my mama just cries. She just cries. She's like, oh God, I can't stop it. You can't stop it from happening. Nah. She's gonna be a host, and it's my twin.
That's your twin.
And she has my personality, so I like. She's like, Dad, you know I was going to do that. It's like, because, girl, you got my DNA. I already know what you're thinking before I saw that little look that you gave, like, because that's some stuff that I would do. Like, I'm peeped that whole thing. But just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I love, and I'm not the world's greatest parents. Eric makes mistakes. I fuck up all the time, y'all.
We
I
all
swear to God,
do.
do.
That's
I
the
think
story
the
of
difference
everybody's
between
life.
me and specifically with my parents, and I love you, mama, no shot, but like what you taught me is to be upfront about. Like if I make a mistake with my kids, I say I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a
Daddy
lot of
didn't mean to
parents
do
didn't
that.
do.
I messed up and I own it. I'm sorry. I can't make it up. I'm not gonna try to like sugarcoat it and like give you money to cover up. Like no, Daddy made a mistake. I'm so sorry. Let's fix that. I promise in the future I'll be more mindful not to do that. You know, and like because with my son has become very. I won't say very, but like he's in his virtual reality, he's becoming more of a recluse in a sense. Like he isolates himself so much, and it's hard to read what his emotions are. And I'm just like, are you? And I
Boys
just
are
asked my
so
dad, I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
Dad. He just said, Dad, will you stop asking? I'm fine. I'm just sitting here. I'm just thinking.
They're
I was like,
expressing it online.
yeah,
I think
they're
they're
expressing
expressing. They're
it.
showing it somewhere, just not when you see them. Because I know the type of kids you're talking about. It's like, are they okay? Yeah, they fine. They ain't got no expression. They just got headphones and a controller in their hand. Like, you sure they okay? Yeah,
He fine.
I guess
They're
how they.
introverts.
You don't get
Yeah.
nothing. You just like, you all right?
And he's,
Hey.
you know, and it's because I've dealt with kids, like I've dealt with so many people in the population, like I'm realizing like it's not just my kids, it's all kids right now. They just, and they're so bold, like you said, like they'll tell you like, hey, do you think you want to come over here and help me with the groceries? No. You can say that to me?
Yes, yes. I couldn't say
Okay,
that.
I guess I guess I'll be
care.
getting these groceries. That's fine, because I'm the type of parent like, all right, I'll get the groceries out the car.
Yes, ain't eating.
Mom,
But when
can
I cook-
get
when I start
something to eat?
cooking,
Well,
no,
no, you ain't helping
You
me
haven't get the groceries out the car, so I guess you wasn't as hungry as I was. That's why I got groceries. Like, put it back in that court. Bring it down to a level they can
Yes.
understand. Like,
Where
oh,
they can understand.
I gotta put it
and
to
that's
you
the
so you can
thing.
understand. So like, hey, that
Parents
is totally
today,
with the shit.
We have to be more creative in how we communicate with our children now. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Mine's is much older, but I just see from other people that have younger kids. And it's amazing because I didn't have to go through those different strategies with my kids. I guess because, but these new kids,
We talk about that all the time.
These
Just
man.
just how the older generation is, how they was with us, like
Yes.
whippings and all of the discipline versus now. I don't think that many kids are getting whippings anymore.
They
No
call people on you.
discipline. So all the kids are different now.
Nah,
compared
they
to-
are.
They
I honestly
they ain't
think
scared of nothing.
they not.
They not scared of nothing.
They don't
That's
know
the
to be
problem.
scared.
They ain't scared.
Well, I mean, if you look at the internet, what is to be scared of? I mean, you see all the scary
Right
shit on the
there.
internet. We didn't get to
That
see all the
is
scary
true.
stuff. You know, the
People's
scary
heads
thing to
getting
us,
cut off and all kinds of stuff. Like
Yeah.
you ain't lying. They get
the
the real
scariest
deal.
thing to us when we was a kid was our parents. 'Cause that was the most scary thing. But now you see so much other scary shit. But I honestly think it's gonna come to a time eventually down the line where simple things that we was like, damn, they used to teach you how to do that for free. As for instance, cursive writing. I believe it's gonna be people out there. You want your child to learn cursive? 150 an hour. Learn how to write in cursive because it may become one. And
That's
I didn't think about that.
but look, because if they
sounds
took it
about
out of the
right, though.
schools,
Right.
and just imagine if you have this job, this high paying job. Okay, we require cursive handwriting.
Yeah.
Why?
He
Because
thinking
that's
so,
how
yeah,
we
thinking
write
about
at
that.
this job. We
Yeah.
need everything written in cursive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, damn, okay, I gotta go take cursive writing lessons. It's 150 hours, 75. You know,
And it's
and
not
it-
going to be easy.
because it
It's
wasn't.
not
And trying to
gonna
learn
be
as an
easy, 'cause
adult,
we started
it's
at
gonna be
kindergarten, and
Yes.
it gradually progressed as we got
Yeah.
older.
And
in
some people
school.
still grown, don't know how to
All-
really
Right,
truly
really
write
write
in
in
cursive.
All older
Yeah.
people write in cursive.
Everybody
yeah.
older.
Not even our generation, unless it say signature.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
other
Oh,
than
yeah, I
that,
love writing in
See?
cursive, girl. I
Yeah.
be cutting
But I
up.
seen the
And
new
it's pretty.
iPad. The new iPad, it was crazy. It don't matter how your handwriting looking, but it would neat it up. As long as you can write a whole paragraph and it can be so sloppy, they change it and I'll make it real neat in whatever font, whatever like. And it's like, so why would I want to learn how to write in cursive? Because
Here's why, child.
Come on, say
Here's
it.
why.
Say it, because I'm reading your mind.
Because you can't write like you can't write like you text and talk to people like no, because the Siri don't
can't-
understand
yeah,
that.
you're right.
if you're going to be dealing with real professional stuff, you have to learn how to read and write and speak the language. If you can't communicate with the people that you're trying to engage with, it's obsolete. It's counterproductive. Like, you hustling backwards, baby.
Yes.
And so, like, yeah, like, I can really see that being a thing. I might need to add that to the
I was
resume.
looking at you.
For
That's
real.
Right in cursive.
You want to teach you? Well, you don't know.
But that
Give
is
it a
that's
minute.
a good idea. You might have to just
That's what I said.
Go
You
get
have to
that
add
started.
Because
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
kids
Don't be
know how to
playing
write, and it's going to be. I think I just can't think of now, but it's other small things that we just learned that it'll probably come to a time where if you know how to multiply in '08 edition, like that's when I learned multiplying when I was in 2008. So that's me. I know how to. Because like it said, y'all said it.
It's a new
your
way to
friend,
do
she
math.
said it's a new way that
Yeah,
they do math.
they're changing the way
is.
that they do
It's
math.
So-
extra steps to it. It's more in depth. These kids get it.
Yeah.
But we don't.
But
So,
if I'm a company, I'm saying me a good job. But if I'm a company dealing with math and money or whatever, and I have the money, guess what? I'm only hiring people that know how to do math the way I know how to do it. So hey, if you know how to do math from the early 2000s, you're qualified.
that would be
because
one of the
if
qualifications.
you coming in here
Yeah.
telling me the
That would
other
be
type of
listed as
math,
a job
it's
title.
okay.
Like,
So
But I mean,
job.
and like even speaking to that, because I like literally just was talking to two of my band members yesterday. They're looking for jobs. I was like, well, I don't mind doing your resume. I can look over your resume and so I'm looking at I was like, oh, this is why you haven't been very successful, baby. You don't know how to write properly. So I'm in this like, how did you do this? I was like, because I can read and write.
put
like,
the
what-
sentences together.
And put the sentences together and make these like past tense because you no longer do this job anymore. Like and to me it's second nature because I know that I was trained to do that. Like, but this new generation is like, oh, these babies really don't know. So like,
Because
as I was talking
everything
about,
does it for 'em.
Everything
Like
does it
AI,
for you.
you
It's like,
know,
no, you ain't got to pay
whoever-
baby. You can pay me.
Yeah,
Hold
but
on, let me
nobody
stop.
does it.
And everything gonna be on the tablet or the computer.
Everything
They're
is
just
already
not a type.
everything is
Not a
already
type.
on the tablet. Like that's how my kids are being homeschooled now. Like just they take their like there's the other thing. Like so she was in the studio with me all night. Then we woke up and she went to work with me the next day doing the whole case manager spiel. And she's like, "You do a lot, Dad. Like what?" She's like, "And you." She's like, that's a lot. And so, like, the room that we were in, like, two new employees. So, we're all there. So, we're laughing, kicking. And then we, like, turn. Everybody got silent over. So, we just typed, like, what are y'all doing? Like, what? And she's like, she's writing in cursive. She's writing real fast. And she's like, and so, like, one of the clients came in and she was, like, taking notes. And she was, like, doing shorthand. And she's like, how does she do that? Like, do what, right? Because that's what we do. She's like, why don't she just type it up? She's like, because she's talking to her. She doesn't want to be in person, she wants to be personal with her, so she's just writing it down, make a quick note, and she's gonna go in there and type it up later. But like, she's like, how can you read what she wrote? Like that looks like scribble scrabble to me. I was like, that's because we were taught to read and write in cursive. She's like, I don't know, I just want to learn Korean, and I'll just leave it alone. It's amazing to me. Like the whole anime, the K-pop, all that is it's a vibe, but like, and so like. I said to her, it's like, well, next year we're definitely going to Korea. I don't know how it's
They're
going to
having
happen.
a concert. Well, my daughter's going to it. It's going to be in, I think, Indiana.
But I
K-pop.
think it trips me out the most is like, her reality is I'm going to Korea. You couldn't have told me 25 years ago when I was her age. Like, had the idea to go to Korea for what reason?
But kids can do it now.
But now because she has friends that she chats with and talks to in
They
Korea.
can do it.
They're sending giving makeup tips and this is how we do our hair and what is it that you're eating? Like she said, Dad, can we make kimchi? I was like like that be out there on the Chinese buffet. Like I mean, I'll eat it, but I don't know how to make it. She's like, well, my friend sent me the recipe. We had it. Okay, well, you make it. I'm gonna just sample it.
But
and
it's like
we'll
you
go from
said,
there.
it's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? Because the gift is, the wonderful thing is your daughter can have friends in different countries and learn different things for free. You know what I'm saying? But then the curse is you got to create those security boundaries to make sure that she's not tapping into things that can
Like, you ever tried one of your animals, one of your pets? You ever thought about eating one of them?
Man.
I don't know. I mean, I guess. I don't know. But look, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to appreciate y'all for coming by. It was a good conversation. For real. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. You guys like, subscribe, share, comment below, retweet, repost, whatever. And I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves out.
Hi, I'm Amber Hart. You can follow me on Facebook, Dr. Amber M. Hart, and also on Instagram, Great Beauty World. I own a hair care business. Holla at your girl.
I'm Levante. You can follow me at Vonnie_Boo on Instagram and Facebook.
And hey, it's your boy Eric, aka Sire Sound. You can follow me on social media, Sire Sound and Instagram, Sire Sound on TikTok. I'll look forward to seeing you.
All right, let's sit down Sunday for you guys. Peace.